And this is a case in point of all the cars we've had. And we've had several that we have marketed, whether it was through social media, online, wherever. I never got, and this is saying a lot, as beat up as I did on this car. Oh, how I have waited for this video for a few days now. I got dragged through the mud by putting this car out on the market, listed for what we did. Guys who were crushing me all over Facebook, all over Corvette forum, really all over the internet. And we knew if we kind of held firm that there would be a buyer for this car. And now that it's gone, we're getting more and more people inquiring, asking if it's still for sale, can they buy it, and it's going to Canada. So it is on its way north of the border. ZR1s are about to pop again. I said it a couple weeks ago. I was talking to some of the other dealers who I know very well. They sold some of theirs over the past couple weeks. I've had more emails than I've had in the last couple months on some of our other ones that are for sale. And I think, you know, people know that Mecum auction at the end of May is coming up, and they have two going through there. One of those was ours, a ceramic matrix gray car, and the other one is the Sebring orange VIN number 7 with 29 miles. Prediction I put out probably about a month ago was that car is going to be the first ZR1 to hit 200 grand. That may even be on the block, but I'm thinking definitely going to be there with commission. And guy called up on this car and has a collection and wanted it, and that's where it's going to go. And that's what I hear every time we put any of our cars out. You know, we get absolutely bashed by a lot of people because they're collector cars. They don't have a lot of miles on them, so there is a premium. Yes, you can go out there and buy cars, no matter if it's this ZR1 or anything we have, with miles on them. Especially these. People kept sending me picture after picture, ad after ad of automatics, low wing cars, and it's a drastically different market on the ZR1s when you're talking about an automatic transmission to the manual transmission. Less than 800 were made in a manual, less than 3,000 produced. Then they were sending me ones that weren't even a ZTK package, and it was just comparing apples to oranges. Definitely had some guys out there who had my back and were defending the car and saying, you know, it is a 65-mile car. It's a 1ZR, yes. And that was another thing. Take out 1ZR, take out 3ZR, and just hear the sheer numbers of what makes something rare is scarcity, right? So you have a car that only had 175 units built, that's including a manual, that's including an automatic. Then you break it down and you have this one that is a manual transmission with a ZTK package. I'm saying that the car is probably one of 40 to 60 made in that configuration, and you're not even counting for the color or for the miles. And I said it, and I firmly believe that there's a strong possibility that the 1ZRs are going to be worth more than the 3ZRs. And I was even saying to a couple guys on Facebook, for us and for me, it truly isn't about the money. It's about being right, because just like somebody who's investing in stocks, if I'm out there pushing a car that is going to flop later, it comes back on us as we don't know what we're talking about, and we're just being salesmen and pitchy to try to sell something. You look back at all of our videos, all of the inventory that we've had. You go back to when we had the Gen 4 Vipers, the Backdraft Cobras, the 350Rs, the C6 ZR1s, the C7 Z06s, the C7 ZR1s now. And we really were ahead of the curve on all those cars before they popped. So for me, for us, it's about being right on the market, ahead of the curve, because now our word means something. When somebody sees what we are putting in inventory or what we're saying, it holds some weight to it now, because we have a proven track record of, all right, those cars really did take a significant jump while they had them and continue to do so. And this car, perfect example. All I did was list it one time and it sold. So it didn't take long to sell. We're sad to see it go. You see our other ones. We have the shadow gray car. We have the orange car. Had a bunch of people busting my chops saying you don't have 3 or 4 ZR1s. The other ceramic matrix in the corner, that's not getting moved. We didn't have to. And everyone else too is blaming COVID for this market. Yes, COVID is having an impact, but in my opinion, and even some of the guys that I've talked to recently, they're sharing the same opinion. everyday used cars is definitely going to have an impact when new cars are being produced and COVID prices, quote unquote, are gone. These cars, the collector cars, really good cars, low miles, highly optioned, are not going anywhere. You talk about the Demons, you talk about the ZR1s, you talk about the Z06s, you talk about 350Rs, all that stuff. They're not making any more. And it's just like the muscle car era of the late 60s into the early 70s before everything dropped in horsepower. Everybody is trying to suck these cars up before everything moves to electric and hybrid. And you're seeing that the market is following and true to that pattern. And when new cars are being produced and the chips are back being made, and you know that's kind of the story now. You see it. Even Good Morning America was talking about it this morning on the news. I don't see a drop off in these cars and in the really collector car market. You know, somebody reached out to me this week with a huge collection of 230 cars, and again, they had Demons, ZL1s, 350R base models with no miles on them. Those cars aren't going to take a dip when suddenly chips are being produced. Because again, it's an investment car, it's collector cars, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, especially enthusiasts, but there is a strong market. There's a lot of collectors out there who want that sort of stuff and aren't afraid to pay top dollar at that current time to have it as part of their collection. And this is a case in point of all the cars we've had, and we've had several that we have marketed, whether it's through social media, online, wherever. I never got, and this is saying a lot, as beat up as I did on this car. Not even close. And those of you who may follow us on social media know that. I've had even my dealer buddies who kind of laughed about it too. And I just kept saying, go find another one. You're not going to find another one. Please send me another car on the market that's a ZR1 with double-digit miles in a stick. And if you do find one, they're going to be asking more than probably we are, because I'm trying to buy those cars, in contact with some of those guys who probably will be watching this video because they've seen some of our other stuff, and I can't touch their cars. So I know if those cars were ever listed, they're going to be more than what we were asking, and if not, they're going to last about 10 minutes before it's sold. So wanted to make this video to show you guys, you know, what the market kind of currently is right now, and that it really isn't going to change unless you're, you know, selling those daily driver everyday cars. Well, then yeah, I agree with you that, you know, things are going to drop off. But stuff like this, these cars are only climbing. Every auction it goes to, and it's not just ZR1s, it's the other stuff as well, it's just doing more and more than it did before. And I think, you know, you're going to see that come May here in Indy and continue, you know, for the next several years and beyond. You know, the cars of the 60s and 70s continue to go up too, and that's kind of where we're at now. And the next car that we're probably going to put on the market is the Shadow Gray. We have it out already, getting crushed on that one at the moment too. But that'll sell. It's got 8 miles. The Sebring orange car, going to put that in the personal collection next to the ceramic gray. And also the 350R Heritage. So the spot that this black 1ZR occupied for the last 6-7 months, the orange car is now going to go back there side by side to the ceramic matrix car, and we'll have the Shadow Gray one as well. And we'll see. We're definitely going to try to buy others if they come up, but going to be paying a lot more than we did 8 to 10 months ago. And I think that's another point before we leave. So many guys missed the boat on these cars. Last year, you could have bought them for 100 to 120 grand, top notch sticks, low miles. And now they're seeing that they could have made a really good buy at the time, and the cars are up as much as they are, and they're kicking themselves in the butt, and they're using every excuse in the book to try to knock these cars down, whether it's the C7 Z06 being built, the C7 ZR1, the chips, and every excuse that they come out with is just not working. The cars continue to climb and continue to outdo each one that they did. The one on Bring a Trailer that we mentioned, it was the yellow 1ZR, had 92 miles. It did 171,000 with the buyer fees. This one, obviously, anyone who saw it, significantly more than that in just 2 months. So it won't be long here. You'll be knocking at the door, already are at 200 and then over. And then who knows? I had somebody reach out who's got a really nice low mileage stick ZR1. He knows guys with Barrett Jackson, and their appraisals say that these cars are going to be in the next 5 years anywhere from 300 to 400 grand. Want to laugh at me? You laughed at me all along. I'm just giving you the info.